Okay, guys, just a couple of key factors that you need to remember as I'm going to be starting to tell you all about this story about surviving a narcissist. A narcissistic person is never, the person you meet is never going to be the person that you end up getting the hell away from when it's all said and done. They're two different people, totally different people, because the person that you're going to meet is going to seem like the best person in the world. They're going to seem like they're your soulmate. They're going to seem like they're the person that really has just the man or woman of your dreams. Everything that you could possibly think you want, need, and desire in a person is who the narcissist appears to be in the beginning. That's called the gaslighting phase. In the gaslighting phase, it's the whole point of gaslighting you is to make you feel like that you're the person, they're the person that you've always wanted. It's to make you get comfortable. It's to make you feel like, oh damn, this person is really mine. This person really understands me. They really get me. I can talk to them about anything. Oh, and they're gonna seem very, very like they got a soft spot. You know us women, we a sucker for a man that'll shed a tear. But when that motherfucker starts shedding tears every other day, or every time you turn around and busting out crying for no reason whatsoever, you're like, okay, oh, did I add narcissism with a little bit of bipolarism and a little bit of that depression on top of that? Bad, bad, bad combination. So anyway, one key thing you got to remember, if it looks too good, if it smells too good, if it acts too good, then it probably is too good, because that's the whole point. Look it up. You don't have to take my word for it. Any research or any information out there on narcissistic behavior, one of the phases is gaslighting. The next phase is love bombing. They overly love you to death. I love you. 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 So much so until almost becomes annoying. It becomes tiresome, because you're like, how many times is this person going to tell me that they love you? I mean, I get it. You love me, but here's the thing. You're giving me those words are telling me that you love me, but you're not showing me. You're showing me something different, but then you turning around and you telling me that you love me. So two things you got to watch out for: the gaslighting phase and also the love bombing phase. I know you guys have probably seen it, because there are more narcissistic people out here than there are not. I'm telling you, you have got to. Now, don't get me wrong. All of us have a tendency to have narcissistic. We all have narcissistic tendencies. Let me say that. Every person has a narcissistic tendency, but the difference between having a narcissistic tendency and a narcissistic disorder is totally, totally different. Super gaslighting, overly love bombing, never taking accountability for anything that they do. It's always somebody else's fault. It's never, ever, ever their fault. It's always somebody else's fault. You made me do it. Yeah, I did this, but because you did that. Always someone else's fault. It's never ever their fault. They take absolutely no accountability for anything that they've done wrong. And if they act like they forgave you, they really didn't. Because what's going to happen next is they're going to come back and in a joking type way, going to try to make you feel like, not going to let you forget that, hey, you started this situation. It's because of you why this happened. I'm angry with you. It really was your fault. And believe me, they're not going to stop at anything until they make sure you understand that they know they were not at fault, but you were. Never taking accountability for anything. Oh man, it's just so much to it. It's just like it's really exhausting. It's really, 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 really exhausting. Always fact checking. My narcissist constantly fact checked me. Anything that I did, anything I said, he was literally going on Google searching it just so he could tell me I was wrong. It almost seemed like it was a competition. I even had to say to him one day, "Hey, babe, you're my man. This ain't a competition. We don't have to compete. If I'm coming to you and telling you something, you don't have to go and try to fact check me so that you can come back and say to me, no, you was wrong. It wasn't this, it was that. No, it wasn't this, that, and the other. It was this, that, and the other. Fact checking. That's a huge thing there. Another thing is, if I said up, he said down. If I said left, he said right. If I said up, if I said back, he said forward. Always, always, it was just like we were never on the same page. It was always some type of confrontation or some type of way that he had to interject in a situation. And at times, it almost seemed like he came across like he was envious of me. Like, and I know, listen, I know that might seem strange, but people, your partners, your own partners can be people that are actually envious of you. Now, there's a difference between jealous and envious. He was envious. Like, he was upset, like, he didn't like the fact that people took to me so much. You know what I mean? Like, he always had something to say about one of my friends, or if somebody said something good, oh, compliments, Not good with giving compliments at all either. Not wanting to say that well, this particular narcissist, because my other narcissist, yes, I've had a couple. So my other narcissist that I had that I used to deal with, he didn't have a problem with giving compliments. But this one, the one that I just recently was dealing with, he had a big problem with compliments. He didn't want to compliment me on anything. Come on now. And yes, I'm tooting my own horn on this. I can cook. I don't know not one person out there that has ever had my food and did not like it. Now, I'm not saying that you have to like everything that I cook, but as far as taste-wise and flavor-wise, I know how to cook. That's not something I'm assuming. It's not something I'm guessing. It's not even being conceited. It's confidence. I know that I can cook. This man, not one time that I ever cooked for him, wanted to give me a compliment about anything. Never, ever, ever said my food was good. Never, ever complimented me on anything. Never acted like he liked it. It was almost like you could tell he enjoyed it, but then halfway through the food or almost towards the end, he'd push it away like, I'm enjoying this too much. Like, you know what I mean? Sick. Sick it might sound, but these are things that you have to watch with for a narcissistic person. A narcissistic person is just somebody that absolutely positively has to make it all about them. They don't know any better. They don't know any better because they have a disorder. Because remember what I said a few minutes ago, there is a difference between having a disorder and a person that has tendencies. We all have the tendency we all have narcissistic tendencies, but a narcissist has a disorder because they can't do anything any different. They're never going to, you're like a supply for them, right? You're never going to be the only one. You're never, ever, ever going to be the only one. It's always going to be multiple people. They're going to lie about it and make it seem like you were the only person until you start seeing that they're walking different, acting funny. My narcissist had 3 or 4 different women. It wasn't just me. Something that I found out about like way late. They can be very abusive. Never abused me physically, but mentally, very, very, very mentally and verbally abusive. Abuse is abuse. You know what I mean? And sometimes you can say things to a person and it cuts you deeper than if they hit you. You know, in all realness, I'd rather at times some of the things that he said to me that was such low blows, I would have much rather he hit me, because at least that hit I would have recovered from and I would have felt better from. No mistake about it at all. I'm a big girl, okay? See, and I'm very transparent, and I'm just giving y'all the real of what I went through. He would say terrible things to me. Like he said to me one time that I had a terrible shape. He talking about Miss Moneybags. You got so much money. Why don't you go out there and get you a BBL and get that shape fixed? You ain't got no body shape at all. You got a terrible shape, like an old fucked up shape, and you know, that sort of thing. Now, for a person who had a lower self-esteem, I don't care how high your self-esteem is, okay? I'm a woman. And to say something like that to me didn't do enough damage, because my confidence in myself is so great until it didn't tear me down like it could have. But there was a time in my life when a comment like that would have took me out, okay? You know what my response was? But yet I pulled you with this bad body. Shut them right down. My shape's so fucked up, but I pulled you with it. You're so concerned because you don't want nobody else to have me. And guess what? I'm 52 years old. I've been in this body a long time. Come with something better, boo-boo. But this is the kind of things that this person who absolutely loved me, who absolutely was over the top, this is what he said to me, okay? Oh man, it was just so many. One time we had got into an argument. Thank God he lives in another state. But at one time we got into a bad argument, and he said to me, if you were anywhere near me, I'd punch you in your motherfucking mouth and knock your teeth down your throat. And he said it with so much venom until I believed him. I believed him. Now, me being me, I said, and what the fuck you think I'm going to be doing while you punching me in my shit and knocking my teeth down my throat? Because, baby, let me tell you something. I ain't going to never claim. Never in a million years am I going to claim I can be the man. But, baby, you can best believe any man put his hands on me, he going to be tired when he done, because he going to know he been into a fight. Okay, so let's just put that out there. But, again, this is me being 100% transparent, because I want you guys to understand that if this is something you're dealing with, or something you've been faced with, you're not alone. It's a lot of women that have dealt with exactly with what I'm dealing with or what I dealt with. Now I've gotten away from that situation by the grace of God. I got away from the situation, but it was a minute. It took a good minute before I really got myself to a point where I felt like, look, this is enough. I can't do this anymore. I can't do this anymore. I've got to get past this. This is not something that I could live with. The lying, volunteering lies, just volunteering lies out the blue. I didn't ask you anything, but now you're going to volunteer a lie. And me being me, I'm going to always check you on it if I find out that you're telling me different. Volunteering lies and things like that. Then his whole attitude would just change up. I mean, oh yeah. And in the beginning, let's keep this 100 too. I don't need a man to do a damn thing for me. I can do it for myself. But at the same time, I am a woman. I like to be loved. I like to be nurtured. I like to be spoiled. And yes, I want somebody to make me feel special. Who wouldn't? I'm not wrong for feeling that way. But just to put that disclaimer out there, it was never about the gifts for me. It was never about the money for me, because it wasn't anything that he was doing for me that I couldn't do for myself. But the gesture of it was nice, if that makes sense. Okay. So he would do little sweet things like, I mean, oh my God, one time, go back into my posts. If you guys go back into my posts from around this time last year, you'll see I was posting all the time, all the gifts and things he was sending to me. I was just getting gifts just because. And he seemed really, really intuitive, like he just seemed so in tune to what was going on with me. And it was just all about me. And it just felt good. It felt good. Now, let me say this to you. I have no regrets. I have no regrets for anything that I did in that relationship, any time, any money, or anything that I did in that relationship. I have no regrets, because one thing I have learned, you don't get my age and get the knowledge that I have without going through things. Life is not going to always be rosy and peachy. Life is not going to always be on the up and up. You got to take the good with the bad. And in life, and me being 52 years young, baby, I've had a lot of things that I've had to deal with, but it's molded me and fashioned me and shaped me into the woman that I am today. So everything that I've ever been through, I've learned from it. No mistake is a good mistake, but the best mistake is the one you learn from. And I try to take every situation and I think of what I learned from that situation. So I have no regrets, because when it was good, it was good. And I enjoyed my time during those good times. Y'all remember? I was posting. I was always on here posting up and everything. And I know it was some people out there that probably was secretly hating, probably happy that I'm saying this shit didn't go right. But one thing about me, baby, I stand in my truth. And for those of you that are my genuine followers, I always am very transparent with you guys. I've always told you when things were good for me, and I've always told you about when things were bad with me. I even broke down and cried in one of my lives and told you guys about how bad things were for me. And I was like, struggling for food and, didn't know where my next meal ticket was coming from. So I'm a very open, transparent person. There is no if, because I believe that in order to help somebody or to be a light at the tunnel for somebody who's struggling, you have to share what you've been through, because that woman that's sitting out there right now, that's listening to this, that's in the midst of what they're into, and their situation may be far worse than mine, but they're feeling trapped and they're feeling lonely and they're feeling like nobody understands what they're going through. Yeah, girl, I'm talking to you. I know you hear me, boo. I know you out there listening, and I know you like, damn, I'm going through that right now. I know you saying, damn, I dealt with this last night. Damn, he just said this to me the other day. Damn, I'm dealing, you know what I'm saying? I know. So the things that I speak from my heart is for my sisters out there that's going through it now, that thinks that there's no light at the end of the tunnel, that thinks that nobody, because let me tell you something, present party included. There have been times in my life when things have happened and I felt like I was the only person in the world that was going through that. I felt like it wasn't happening to anybody else. And just to have been able to come across a lot, not in this situation. So let me just say this to you guys. This relationship lasted about a year and a half or whatever. It was mostly off on, off on, off on. And we were in two different states. So there was no real opportunity for me to get broken from it, for lack of better words. It was listen, there were some things that happened that affected me and affected me royally. and made me, but not to the point where when it was over, because I ended it. I ended it. I said, I can't do this anymore. This is not for me. I just cannot do it. This whole setup doesn't work for me. Oh, he tried. He tried. Oh, I know I'm all over the place, y'all, but y'all know me. This is how I do. This is how I talk. I'm all over the place, but I'm be trying to go somewhere. I be trying to get my message out there to y'all so y'all can hear me. He would do things like, whenever he felt like it, would ghost me. I wouldn't hear from him for days. And then he would just call me or text me out the blue and start talking as if nothing happened. Just like he hadn't done anything. Or if me and him got into an argument, I said I wasn't dealing with this bullshit no more, because I said that quite a few times. And I said I wasn't going to deal with this no more. He may leave me alone for a day or two, and then he would text me and say something to the effect like, yeah, I know I ain't trying to bother you, but I just wanted you to know, no matter what, I love you and I miss you. That was the opener door. That was the opening conversation to get me to respond. And then once I respond, he respond, and then I respond again, and boom, the door's open, and he done walked through. You feel what I'm saying? This is what he used to do. Or either whenever, for no reason at all. For no reason at all, he may stop talking to me. And again, remember, he's in one state, I'm in another state. Most of our conversation is FaceTiming and talking on the phone, texting and that sort of thing. So there would be times when, just out the blue, he just would not call me. He just would not talk to me. He would not text me. He would not respond to me. He would look at my messages and leave me on red, and just out the blue call me up. What's up? And then somewhere in there tried to bring up something that I had did or said that had made him feel whatever he was. Or either he was going through saying, another thing, whenever a narcissist is going through something, all heaven, hell, and earth better come to a standstill and pay attention to them, because they are going through something. You're not allowed to go through anything. Then you are absolutely positively not allowed to go through anything, because anything that you're dealing with or what you're going through is insignificant. And if you begin to start talking about yourself or something that was happening to you, I'm not even going to speak about anybody else, he will find a way to interject and make something about him. One thing that did it for me, everybody knows that my grandson was a twin, and he was born on 4th of July. My daughter-in-law went into labor early. She went into labor at 22 weeks. She was pregnant with my twin grandbabies, okay? On 4th of July, she gave birth. My granddaughter didn't make it, but my grandson did, and he was here in town. 4th of July. We jumps up, we goes up to the hospital. He's there with us. We're all crying, we're all upset, including him, mind you. Crying, supporting my son and his wife. And we just going through it, okay? My mouth seems to be so dry and pasty, y'all. I'm sorry. So I was tore up. And let me tell you something. Not only was I tore up because it was my grandbaby that had passed and my other grandbaby was in the NICU, but it was my baby who was hurting. My son was hurt, and my son was crying, and he was crying with so much anguish and pain. And as a mother, if you're a mother, you know what I'm talking about. And it was nothing I could do. And it was nothing that I could say to take that pain away from my baby. I couldn't, and I had to watch him. I'm getting emotional thinking about it. I had to watch him be broken about losing his baby, and it was nothing as a mother I could do. So my point about this is, I came back to the house, all the cooking and the different things I planned on doing. I just got in the bed and I just laid down. I just couldn't move. I did get up a little bit. We had a little bit of company here. And I mean, it was a bunch of other people that had came by. And I get it that he was out of town. But instead of that SOB being sympathetic about what I was going through, the next day when I got up and I started moving around, he was very angry. And he said to me, I'm mad with you. I said, mad with me for what? Because you was in the bed all day yesterday. We didn't even go nowhere. I was stuck in this house all day yesterday. You didn't do nothing. I did get up. Matter of fact, I'm lying. I got up late that night, probably about 2 o'clock in the morning. He wanted to go out riding somewhere. So I got up out the bed like 2 o'clock in the morning on 4th of July. I was going into the 5th of July. And I got up and we went. But he let it be known the next day when I got fully up out the bed. He told me he was mad with me because I had slept all day. Now, mind you, I'm hurting, I'm grieving, and this motherfucker was so selfish and so self-centered until he was angry because I was going through something. and I left him there, he was right here with me. But he looked past the fact that I'm grieving because my grandbaby just passed. My other grandbaby's only 1 pound and in the NICU. And my son and his wife are sitting there and they're suffering. It's not anything I can do. And he didn't understand that. He made it all about him. So you see what I'm saying? That's the kind of stuff he did. He was something. He was a motherfucker. That's God. He was a motherfucker. But he was a motherfucker in his own way, but he don't get the award, baby. The one that gets the award was that motherfucker that I was with before him that left me in a situation where I didn't talk to anybody or date anybody for 4 years after being with him because he put me through something. He was that mother. You ever had that kind of love where you can't eat, where you can't sleep, where you can't think, where you can't breathe, you can't hear certain songs because it reminds you too much of that person and so on and so forth? That's that motherfucker right there. That first one that I had. That one put me through something. This one put me through a little bit of something. Left us a little bit of a mark, but not enough to the point where it broke me down like that. But it was enough, okay? So anyway, getting back to what I said, I was saying to you guys that I stopped that. I ended that relationship. I said I just couldn't do this anymore. It wasn't working for me anymore. And I just had to, I had to walk away from it. And just be done with it. And I was. It's just crazy. So I know this was a pretty long video, and I'm sorry, but I'm not sorry because I told you guys that I was going to give you a story time and tell you, but I probably haven't told you everything that has gone on or everything that there is. But I know that sometimes when you make these videos, and you make them too long, people get tired, they get antsy, and they don't want to look at the video. And the things that I'm sharing with you is important. It's things that you need to know. It's things you need to watch out for. It's things that you need to understand. And I want you all to get the whole gist of it. So I'm going to close this video for now and come back with a part 2. I'm exhausted from talking about it. So yeah, listen, hit me up. Real talk from my kitchen to yours at AOL. Real talk from my kitchen or yours at Adrian. Shit, y'all, I can't get this thing together. My email address is realtalkfrommykitchentoyours at gmail.com. Send me your questions, send me your comments, send me your concerns, or post them just down here in the comment section. Ask me about it, and we can talk about it. This is going to be one of the first videos to this platform, and I'm going to be cooking while I'm at it. Everything ain't going to be just me. I probably should have named my channel From the Boudoir, because a lot of my conversations might take place right here in the boudoir, okay? So, I really need Monster to sponsor me. Because any of y'all know me that's been following me for even 5 minutes. Y'all already know my drink of choice is Monster. Y'all can have y'all coffee. Y'all can have y'all iced coffees. Y'all can have y'all tea. Y'all can have your sodas. I'm going to have me a Monster. Yeah, so this feels really good because I'm going to post this up on my YouTube channel. And this is what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be doing videos and putting these videos on my YouTube channel. And I want you guys to be able to just come over. And a lot of the videos that I'm going to be sharing is going to be cooking. I'm going to be videoing more and more and more and bringing more content to you guys. Because I want to get it. Is it? Oh, that's the girl. Excuse me. Y'all know me. Y'all know me. I'm going to pick in my mouth. I'm going to pick in my hair. I'm going to scratch. I'm going to burp. I'm going to smoke me a cigarette. I'm just going to be me because we girls, right? We girls. We supposed to be able to talk about anything. We supposed to be able to come back and kick it. And if it's anything, listen, I'm a book of knowledge. I'm a wealth of knowledge. Let me say that. I am a wealth of knowledge. And I know a lot about a lot of different things. And I also know a lot of people that know different things. And I know people from every walk in life. I know people from millionaires, and that's real shit, to people living on the street. I know upper class. I know middle class. I know lower class. I know white. I know black. I know Hispanic. I know a wealth of people. So sometimes there might be something in particular that you want to talk about, that you want to see if I can relate. Hit me up. Put it down in the comments. Start utilizing me. Start asking me questions. Start talking to me. I want to get this thing going. I want to get it going. Anyway, guys, I'm going to stop this video for now. And I'm going to take me a little breather because I am working. I'm gonna take me a little bit of breather. I'm gonna go ahead on and edit and post this and post it up on my YouTube channel. And then I'm gonna come back and we gonna talk a little bit later, okay? And I'm gonna be doing lives on here and we gonna have like a little podcast. I'm gonna tell y'all to go get comfortable. I might do it like 9 or 10 o'clock at night, like girls' night, ladies' late night talk. What y'all think? All right, y'all, I'm getting up out of here. So, and hey, from my kitchen to yours or wherever you may be, check the shirt out, y'all. Real talk.